Warsaw
No
coming
way.
in here.
Way, hold up, how is he alive? What's going on? Wraith gets out, so does soloDoubleJ, and reinforcements from Bobby and Leon combined to bring down Neil Mar. Well, here we go, into game, your first look at the Season 10 map. And we're going to start on the order side of things at the moment. Obviously, this is still not fully final. We will have a couple of things that you might not be used to seeing, like the trees all there for the spectator mode, but we'll give you the best we can. The map, it's so fat is the best way, and that's coming from me of all people. It's very wide.
Yes.
How long does it take to traverse this map, guys?
Give or take the rest of your life. No, it takes a long time, but it's not impossible to do. But certainly you have to be a little bit more wary of where you're positioning as a jungler or as a roaming support so that you aren't putting yourselves in a position where you can't help anybody else.
Now, honestly, I don't believe these players have even seen this map before, so they're kind of exploring. I think Nika's cheating with this, you know, by going the Jormungandr so we can just look over the walls real quick and go, oh, there's a camp over there as well. Huh. They both had actually Cthulhu as well for Deathwalker. That's interesting.
Neil is not going to do this, man. In a show match, he's about to invade.
Oh, you went
blink play.
You know, if the wall wasn't there, Neil, it would have been good. But it didn't. It was a good attempt for the most part. They're invading at the moment, though, or getting aggressive in the jungle. How is the invade situation, boys and girls?
Still Invader's Curse. It's still there. You know, we still want to make sure that you aren't being completely stopped from doing what you want to do in the early game, but not completely take it out. You got to be a little intelligent with where you're grouping everything up.
Let's see everyone pull out the jungle monsters outside of their leash camps. Look at that. They're following around.
Yep. Got to keep on hitting them. You see that little circle underneath in order to keep the aggro together, but you have to pull them together and clear both buffs at the same time.
Something tells me these guys are a little bit more prepared, Neil Mar and Ducky, there, as they decide to rotate to lane 2. Meanwhile, the left-hand side of the map, you can see Team U-Rock are just doing near the purple buff. Deathwalker and Weaken, pretty much they went kind of speed into blue like we've seen before, really.
Yeah.
A lot of players kind of do that aggro, though, right? When the new map comes out, we kind of just go back to basics.
The tried and true there, but man,
Raven not again, already. First blood to U-Rock, and it's Wraithling down already in the mid lane. And a kill goes over to Leon and the relics.
Now, you get a lot of advantages from going for multiple buffs at once, but it can also get you to lane a little late and be a little dangerous, just like that. It was good clear there from from U-Rock, rather.
Well, while the aggression's going on over here, you can see the jump in from Rexy, looking for the play on Ducky. Ducky slides away back to safety. And actually is near those bastions. Can those bastions be hit right now, for example?
Oh yeah, by abilities as well as auto attacks.
That's the exciting part, isn't it? Not only just the basic attacks, but abilities will be able to hit both the wave, the gods, and those bastions.
Oh, interesting. So that'll keep weakening them down too. Well, speaking of weaken, Leon is in the jungle trying to invade down this left-hand side. And I've noticed the pattern in these jungles, these left-hand side and right-hand side, it's more of an arc to the lanes now. Yep. Was that part of the design to make sure they're a bit wider in these lanes?
Wider, longer, a little bit more threatening for the laning phase, which is something that I think the players will have fun with.
Well, Leon's going to gank the duo lane now. Neil Mar's knocked up, he wasn't even looking. Feather Step comes through, but Neil will survive. The axe hits from Rexy, but he's out of mana. And an escape there as U-Rock could have got their second kill of the game. Learning so far, everyone's kind of just gone back to, well, we'll just do the usual normal starts.
Well, yeah, it's great to see the pressure on that left-hand side because the gold buff has spawned. I mean, Weaken is there. Maybe he'll get it, but looks like Leon's going to confirm that one for U-Rock.
And that gold buff, what exactly does that do?
Well, you can see that shield and inbound health. He's got a little bit extra there, and that will last as long as the gold buff does or until that shield goes away.
Just lets you be a little bit more aggressive in your lane, you know, get that extra little health shield. And gold buff is something that can stack with any other buff. So you aren't trading gold for instead of green or instead of purple. If you want it, you can take it if it's down, no matter what other buff you have, which is really fun in the same way that silver buff works as well. Both of those buffs can be stacked with any other buff.
Oh, look at the aggression coming out. Good
Season 10, first look of how this is going on with that first kill just for U-Rock so far. But yes, with this moment right now, we'll see how this goes. Deathwalker trying to get some pressure on the right-hand side. The actual tier 1 towers are right and left in dual lane and solo lane. A little further away this time, a little bit more distance between them.
A lot more threatening in lane, for sure.
Or maybe with the picks, so you can get the puddles on both bastions almost permanently. Look at that, he's withering them away.
He's going to slowly just keep the pressure rolling in this lane because he will keep this rolling on as time. You can see a couple of these shards, though, being picked up at the moment. The Thug obviously hovering over some of these for the Season 10 map. I'm excited to see exactly which ones are going to get really used here. We've seen a couple. Aggro, tell me about that Horn Shard a bit.
Yeah, Horn Shard for those characters that want to make use of their abilities a little bit more often in the early game. So these effects are clearly very strong, right? 0.5 seconds every second for the next 3 seconds on that 2-minute timer. I think that we see both solo laners go for it. I'm a little surprised to not see any Carapace there, but both supports went Carapace instead. I think Horn Shard has felt really, really good to just get those bursts in order to help trade in lane, though. I've definitely experimented a little bit with this in solo.
Look at this, Leon trying to proxy through the wave, but the bad news is he didn't look at the timers of those minions coming through as they came through the mid lane. He is spotted out, but no one's on this left-hand side to keep the pressure rolling. Instead, U-Rock are taking a purple buff off the invade. What's that Harpy doing?
Right by Leon.
He's a roaming Harpy. He's not quite as sedentary as his other Harpy brethren. So every so often, that Harpy camp, even when it's coming off of respawn, a roaming Harpy will begin to move around the rock on both solo and duo side and let you kind of get some plays there.
Okay. Well, it's nice to see a bit of a group up in mid looking for a pick on soloDoubleJ, who's traded out the weakened Jute Boots. Too good for enough damage, and Wraithen gets a kill for himself. I wasn't expecting to say that today.
And soloDoubleJ, I think if he had popped his Claw Shard before he went into his ultimate, it might have done some work for him there, because that's the one that gives you more power and some lifesteal during that time. So that would have helped out quite a bit during that Anubis ultimate.
Yeah, typically you like to see the Horn Shard in mid because cooldowns are just so important for those mages that love to spam, but specifically Claw on Anubis, that's a great synergy.
Yep, agreed. I like the pickup.
There. Will that minion aggro him in the jungle? Do they auto aggro if you're in the jungle near them?
No, they only aggro when you hit them.
So they're kind of friendly, That's kind of
a
nice.
little bit.
And look at this. So green buff is now much closer towards mid lane, but Neil brought it over towards Ducky in order to get some help in order to clear it, so that he didn't have to do it and get some farm for his ADC at the same time.
Yeah, very excited about having to take buffs to lazy carries that don't want to go for their own buff now, because go get it for me, support player. But
you're just as long as they rate you 5 stars, then it's worth it.
That's a good point. Do we have that? That'd be great. I think I can
Not yet, but who knows?
Well, we'll see how that works out. Continuing on with the show match, though, of the Season 10 map. I'm very excited to see how this goes as the game goes on. Rafe back in base, having a hard time thinking about what to go for here at the moment. What is that item that Weaken's picked up? What's that? Is it a sword?
It is.
It's
a brand new katana over there.
New katana?
It's a new katana. It's called Shadow Drinker, as Weaken just got absolutely ambushed. Yeah, we're used to that anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Shadow Drinker, now, when you kill an enemy god, you just go into stealth.
Wait, what?
Just another stealth.
Yeah, it's just stealth and movement speed for a little bit.
So you kill someone and you go stealth straight afterwards?
Correct. That's right.
Okay. Well, big fight on the right-hand side of the map is Deathwalker gets goon squatted by 4 members of U-Rock there. The rest have cancelled that, not doing anything. You'd hope they would do a Gold Fury or something, but instead it's going to be the Scorpion instead.
Hey, gold buff, pretty valuable. It's a good amount of golden XP, and you get that shield to help with your next engagement, which is pretty important as well.
Speaking of other new items as well here, Clumsy.
Yeah, I was just looking at
Nika's picked it up, and so has Giannis in mid for Wraithen. What is that item next to Tablet of Destiny?
So a new mage core item is the Tablet of Destinies, and it's pretty unique. It's a stacking item, so you can either get it with or maybe after or before Book of Thoth. And when you damage enemies' gods with your abilities, you gain stacks, and those stacks allow you to deal true damage with further abilities.
True damage.
Based on your max mana.
Okay.
Yes, and it's every stack you get, as Rexy's going to get ganked over here in the duo lane, Weaken should be able to clean this one up alongside
he's got no beads either. Oh, nearly for a second I thought he had an opportunity, but Weaken, and they're going to taunt on his corpse as well.
That's messed up. I mean, it's just a show match. That's how it goes. But going back to Tablet, as you continue to get more and more damage, or every stack you get deals damage based on the amount of stacks you have. So it continues to stack up. It's a new type of stacking mechanic that we're exploring not just on Tablet, but on another item that Inbound has picked up, where poking enemies with abilities is what gets you your stacks.
Well, there's a pressure fight in the mid lane as Bobby gets pulled under the tower by Weaken there, but at the same time, Rafe did use his beads.
We see Apollo in the air too.
And in the air is Apollo coming crashing down. Ducky looking for a play onto Bobby, who will escape for now. Weaken back into the jungle. The Totem Maku real quick. I want to touch on that because this crowd has a real big issue with Totem Makus for some reason. What's the difference? Has it changed at all? Is it just moved to the side? Or?
There's actually a lot of changes coming to Totem. So it's no longer the Totem of Ku. It's now just the Totem.
Okay.
And so changing to the Totem means that there's got to be a lot of new stuff to come with it. So one thing that you'll notice the next time that it's up is that there's an aura around it. And that aura is especially good at giving you damage to clear the wave. Horizon coming in here.
Wait, hold up.
Wow.
How is he alive? What's going on? Wraith gets out, so does soloDoubleJ. And reinforcements from Bobby and now Leon combined to bring down Neilmar.
And that time, he used the Claw Shard alongside the Bancroft's talent in order to lifesteal up. So it made a big difference there for him. Man, that was sick.
So yeah, the Q's getting done on the right-hand side now by Nika. What else does it do?
The Totem.
Sorry, Totem.
No, I'm just trolling you.
No, you're
so,
right, you're right.
So Totem now no longer in the side of the jungle or anything like that. It is now in the middle of the lane.
Yes.
But when it is up, it provides a damage aura to those around it as Ducky got nowhere to go.
Boost speed.
Yeah, it can't be doing too much about that. But it allows the solo laners to actually be able to deal more damage to each other, up the solo kill potential in solo lane, without giving damage to those characters, because if we did, then they would just rotate out of solo and kill the jungler or kill the mid laner. Now, you just deal more damage when fighting and when boxing in the solo lane.
Well, we get a first fight at the new Gold Fury pit. There is 4 entrances to it now. Or do we? It doesn't even look like Cancel not know what's going on here. It's taken them quite a while to bring down that Gold Fury, though.
It's a little bit more threatening in that pit now and just overall around the map. I think that in particular, the new Fire Giant is going to scare some people off from time to time.
Deathwalker back in solo lane, still trying to just hold pace in this lane. His bastions in front of his tower have gone, and you can see the health down. The coup fight's going on, boys and girls. Who's gonna get it? The skulls will fall. Is it gonna be Rock? Nika gets it. The best play he's done all weekend.
Oh, come on.
Oh, come on. It had to be done. Okay?
Well, you're the savage guy. You're the savage. That's how people know you. You know, you got to do the savage thing.
Ah, the old days. Neilmar in mid trying to juke out the gaze, but it's not going to be enough. As he'll fall down, pressure still rolling.
With the Horus ulti.
But there is still a Bastion there. They're going to try and dive the tower here. Looking for Wraith, who's trying to
he
get
didn't quite make it through.
Wow.
Disaster as soloDoubleJ gets another kill and Bobby giggles on his cam. Should they take the Bastion there or the tower in this instance?
The Bastion's better to get first because it reduces the protections of the tower. It doesn't deal damage to it, but it reduces its protections.
Well, Tier 1 finally falls in the mid lane, the first one of the game. Meanwhile, Ducky jumping in.
Wow.
Weaken with a good sonic boom to the back line. Still alive though is Bobby and soloDoubleJ. It's Deathwalker that's going to die first, and now the U-Rocket marching on.
They're killing it right now. Inbound finds the stun onto Neilmar, but it's Weaken who's in the most trouble.
Now next up the dive in. Will find Weakeners on the backside. Neilmar threw the boulder out, but now he's running for his life. A push back in for Bobby to get hit by Ducky, but it's not going to be enough for a kill. It's 3 dead on the side of Cancel That, and matchmaking in Season 10, please.
Yeah, this map, with how big it is, we're looking forward to seeing how it plays for the comeback potential, because you know, normally it's a little bit easier for a team who's ahead to just rotate over to you and stop whatever split push you're doing or stop whatever extra farming you're doing. But with the map being bigger in year 10, I wonder if it's going to give more opportunities to teams who are a little bit behind to spread the map out and find some farms safely.
And the other thing that we can see here is that while we've talked about the shards a lot, what's important is that you no longer just have that default option of Vision Shard. And U-Rock are absolutely making sure that they keep purchasing wards every time they go back to base. I know that sounds kind of cringe, but it's true. If you look at the mini-map and in the store right now, they are buying wards non-stop because they cannot use the fallback of Vision Shard.
And it makes it a little bit more lethal in the early game because there are less free wards out on the map. So junglers are getting a lot more successful ganks, and supports are getting successful ganks off a little bit more often in playtests because not everybody has Vision Shard.
Well, that's around the Fire Giant pit right now is where Deathwalker is, or close to, I should say. He's moved a little bit further back.
And look at that guy. Oh, yeah.
He looks scary, man. Like, he looks like he's here to really have a good old fight. Neilmar is in a good old fight in mid lane right now.
Oh,
but will get some regen from the mitigate wounds.
Not
enough to get away from El Leon, though. He'll bring him down as the kills keep rolling. I want to touch on real quick. We've not talked about it. The artwork on this map looks so good.
Yeah.
That solo lane, I saw a beach with crabs and water. That looks so good out there.
Yep.
Can you see that when you're on the map? You know.
Oh yeah, absolutely. As Rexy jumps in, but Ducky had the bait.
But Rexy still has his beads and Aegis, holds his Aegis for then. now falls back to the tower. Ducky trying to dive in, but he gets burst down already. Wait for the Yarnasil to jump in and get pressure rolling. He doesn't like where he is, though, and needs to get out of town soon, and will. The chase is still on now, looking for the Yarnus, knowing his portal's on cooldown and the ultimate too, but there's no damage hitting him until Leon gets into the tower and finds the kill.
Good dive there on that side, and man, how about Bobby? 0-0-10. That's kind of the ideal support scoreline right here.
He might be looking for a team next year, boys and girls. Make sure you hit him up. He's trying to put on his performance already.
And he's got a lot of stacks on his prophetic cloak, which I think is another one of the items that people are going to be really excited about. So again, this is part of our new type of stacking item where you don't get stacks by killing or assisting on minions. You gain stacks by hitting enemy gods with abilities. So when you hit a physical god, you gain a stack of physical protections. When you hit a magical god, you gain a stack of magical protections. And once you have 15 of each, and these are in an aura, so it's a very good item for your team, it evolves to something even better for you individually. I think you're going to like it when it evolves, Graham.
What do you mean? It evolves? You're not going to tell me what it does when it evolves?
Well, you better hope Bobby gets enough stacks, or Neil.
Okay, this game's going to last that long then. I mean, it's only 40 minutes in, but I'm kind of worried already with the state of this one, because the Pyro just went away of you, Rock, but cancel that. I'm trying to actually take the Pyromancer off their mole, and will do so.
Hey, what's that on the ground there, Clumsy? Is that something new?
Yes, the Pyromancer reward is actually going to be changing to be the Runic Bomb. And it looks like no one picked it up there, but Neil Ma
Did they know about it? Did they know what the Runic Bomb is?
I told them.
They might not have
right
realized
in
it was
their
there.
eyes and told them about it.
There's a bomb on the ground is what you just told me.
That's right. And it goes into your inventory if you have a free slot. So if you have an open spot for your wards and or potions, then you get a Runic Bomb to use.
Ducky just stood still knowing he was dead
then
as the dive came through for sure. But then looks like that buff wore off down in the jungle, so they've only got a limited time to pick it up.
Correct. Yep, you got to pick it up. You got a little bit of time afterwards, but just like any other buff, it will expire once it's on the ground for a little bit too long. But you want to use that in order to help push towers or do objectives. The Runic Bomb is going to not deal damage to gods. Yeah, sorry, I don't want to interrupt everyone's favorite part.
I was trying to cast that too there. They're upset now though because he just left it for the tier 1 tower on the right-hand side. Just Deathwalker over here now. I'm excited for the next Fire Giant to be or the first Fire Giant ever, because I want to see what it does to people.
It messes them up. Although with the lead that you Rock have, it might not mess them up as much as it would in a typical match.
Up quite a lot at this point in time, but we'll have to see if they say the
there we go. I was waiting for us to see that.
Yeah, the chest in the jungle. What's that? What's that aura on the ground, guys?
That's right. So we found one of the new map mechanics, which is the Rogue Stash. And once that's found, you can hit it, and you get a little bit of gold for that. And also, the Cyclops Rogue will actually come back, harkening from the old days. And if you kill that, you can actually leash it around a little bit, and it'll drop a deployable once killed, also providing a little bit of gold that gives movement speed to your allies.
Oh, movement speed buff for your allies. Okay, that sounds good. Well, Rexy dueling with Neilmar in the jungle on this left-hand side, trying to stop Rexy getting to his buff by the looks of it on that purple. Instead, it looks like Neil's going to try and take away these harpies, and he's taking them on an adventure. He's like the Pied Piper right now.
Yeah, those ones having a good time, but Neil might not be having as good of a time, but with that new winged blade that he has, very much like what you're used to, but now just a little bit better.
Just like when he's playing for Ronnie Warriors, alone, getting picked up, poor man, all focused down as the rest of his team just trying to farm up and keep busy. There's the winged blade pickup. I'm looking through items now to see if there's anything else in inventories I don't know.
There's a lot.
Yet.
There's a lot. So now winged blade, very much the same as what you're used to, but when you're hit by a slow, it pulses out that slow immunity to all of your allies around you.
So your whole team gets a little bit of help.
If you're within 30 units, then yes, you will also receive a slow cleanse.
Oh, this one is a killer item.
Yes.
Tell me about this, Lermy.
Archsteward's Fury is a new stone item, and this one is really great on your tanks. So get it in Guardian, get it on solo, either way. How this works is every time that you take damage, you get a stack depending on how much damage that you're taking there. So each time you take 5%, you're getting a stack. You can expend those stacks.
Big 1v1 between the boys. This is Dave from Ducky. Where was that from?
Beautiful.
He gets the kill. That was just Assy that he got lifesteal with.
And a new little bit of a different look for Aussie. A little bit less early game, a little bit more big stats. So
these stats are way different than they were before, and we have given that passive a little bit more love. So not so much pen item anymore. This is for power and lifesteal.
Yeah,
I think that's also
more expensive.
Right, and that's really important to touch on, because while you see a lot of new items, you also don't see a lot of items there too. For example, we see Demon Blade instead of Wind Demon. We can get into that a little bit later. It's important to see the general balance of items, because there's a lot of things that have just shifted around.
For anyone just tuning in for this Season 10 show match here, The update notes are going to be on Wednesday this week coming up. This is just a first look. You guys are going to be deep diving the whole of this whole update,
Yep.
I believe, and going through every single detail.
Exactly. That'll be on Wednesday, and PTS should hopefully be not too long after that for everyone to get their hands on
You've
it.
changed to a dev there. I heard you just go, yeah, I'm not going to announce the exact date just in
Of course
case.
not. I've been around long enough. I know how it
That
goes.
Gold Fury pit, though, it gives you a good idea of what you're there to do with all that gold in the sides. Still waiting for a Fire Giant, but so far, if U-Rock could get this, these 5 players are the first ones to get a Gold Fury, a Oni Fury, and a Primal Fury in the year 10.
They've done it all now. They've gotten them all here, but Nika's going to teleport over, try and help out inbound on Weekend and Wraithen, but doesn't quite get it. Nika also with another new item in the inventory. That's Stone of Binding, but a little better than it used to be.
Tier 3ified, you might say.
Tier 3ified. Now, same passive, but just health protections and doing it based on your level.
Neo got pulled into danger, but blinking from Deathwalker into the Cthulhu Ultimate, trying to rain down damage, and the madness begins. He takes out Rex's, but in tow, so does Rexy fall. Getting down Ducky too. Into the tier 2 tower goes Leon. He's under pressure still, but on the backside, Deathwalker's escaping. Can soloDoubleJ find the kill as Nika tanks the tower?
Inbound now, the only one underneath the tower, but it looks like it is a retreat now for U-Rock as they they're up by a good amount here. 9K in 18 minutes, 19 minutes is pretty insane, but still got to respect how difficult those jungle corridors are to fight in. Lots of narrow choke points where Cancel That might be able to turn the tide.
They've been doing a pretty solid job of that so far. I think now we're kind of getting out of shard time.
I was
Bye-bye
just staring
shards.
at that. I'm like, let's see who still has shards left. And I think the last one from Neilma, the Carapace, has now been changed. So, yep, no more shards past level 12.
And you really feel it's best to still upgrade into the relics, not hold on to those shards,
Absolutely.
right?
Yes, yeah, they're very strong, but they're individual only. So even things like Frenzy, which are in the same type of vein as something like Claw Shard, you can just get it for your whole team. So it's usually, we anticipate that upgrading at level 12 is still going to be the move.
Is that a new Mail of Renewal I see down there?
No, it is a new item in the breastplate tree, actually, I do believe. If my memory
Well,
serves,
new,
although
but
my
old.
art. Yeah, new but old. So no more Shield of Regrowth. Instead, it is Breastplate of Regrowth. It's the same passive that everybody loves, but in a new tree with a new stat spread. And in moving some existing items around, can really enabled us to open up our space for more cool ideas in trees that needed the space.
Yeah, I think Lermy was alluding to Uller picking up. Look at that next to the ward in the consumable slot. What's that?
That's the Runic Bomb. He picked it up. I can't wait to see where he uses it because that's going to be dealing a lot of damage to either a tower or really anything. That's the best part about this bomb is that you can use it in the middle of a team fight. You can use it to secure objectives. But
you can use a 1v1?
There he is. Right now.
Ducky killed it. Ducky killed it. You can basic attack it down, but the Runic Bomb is really there to help on your sieging in particular and fighting around objectives. So it's excellent at dealing damage to towers.
Man fight again in the duo lane between Rexy and Ducky getting the better end of it again. Has more sustain in his kit. Rexy happy to take the trade though. Tries to thread the axe. Didn't find a home. Weaken now rotating in. Rexy could be getting baited here, or is it Ducky? Because in comes inbound and now Leon. And Ducky's trying to get out in time. Bursted down already. U-Rock with another kill.
Yeah, Ducky's Demon Blade not doing quite enough there, and it might look like an item that you're familiar with, and that's by design because this is another item that has been moved in its tree. So Wind Demon, no longer a part of the game. Instead, it is Demon Blade building out of the short sword tree. Very same passive, all that kind of stuff.
Here we go. The crowd likes PvE. They're going to enjoy the FGP. The ring round fire around the outside. Wraithen's going to ward in though. So Cancel That. No, this is going on. The grouping begins. Everyone's focusing Neilmar down at the start of this fight, and they will drop him down to 0 and 7. Fire Giant still leashed by U-Rock, as you guys said. They are pretty tanky at the moment.
Yep, absolutely. And Inbound's taking a lot of damage. Deathwalker in, and he's going to do quite a bit with the build that he has. That tablet starting to put it in, but it's the Anubis who gets the kill.
I love it. Cthulhu's still a little bit larger than even the new Fire Giant in its ultimate.
Yep.
Fire Giant's still leashed, but it's taken a long time, and Nika eating a ton of damage. Ducky dunks on in. Raven's just watching from the side with his ultimate. Will throw it out. Meanwhile, Fire Giant getting low, and the first Fire Giant of the year 10 show match is going to go the way of U-Rock.
Huge knock up there from Inbound, and it's just easy pickings now for U-Rock. They get the fire, they get 4, and Inbound ends up surviving as well, getting a little bit of healing there through the 3 and getting the little buff from it with the Breastplate of Regrowth.
So
That's a lot of buffs.
A lot of buffs.
That's a lot of buffs.
So you can just put them all on top of you?
Yeah, why not?
And now imagine for your Tiamat as well. You can still use.
Yeah, there's
Really?
one
You
more
can go
still.
Duplicate even more for your team. We'll tier 2 down on this right-hand side and onto the Phoenixes. First little look at them. They look so pretty, those birds.
Yeah, this base is very difficult to siege, but certainly not impossible. But I think that it is a little bit more defender advantageous than in previous years.
I don't want them to end. Why are they trying to end? I want to keep talking and looking at more stuff. Why are you guys trying to go in the pit and end the game? Well, they're going to kill Ducky and now turn their attention towards the Titan. And the Titan's under threat. Please cancel that. Do something. I want to
Surely they
keep this
got it.
going.
Neil's coming in, might be able to find a good pluck, as Bobby's taking a lot of damage, and Deathwalker's ultimate not quite ult yet, and that's why when he gets pulled in, it's not going to go well for him.
Bursted down. The composition of U-Rock working out really well. Bobby trying to dive to the back. We can still in the mid lane, trying to keep the pressure off those minions and drag them around. U-Rock just trying to farm in the fountain area now.
Yeah, not a great position here for Cancel That. And you can tell because Wraithen, with the Tablet of Destinies, it can also kind of be a abilities hit counter in a way. So only hit 15 enemies since with abilities since he's gotten that. But maybe it does have an internal cooldown, so maybe a little more than that.
Neomar just trying to keep this game going as long as they can, but it looks like U-Rock are trying to end. They want to deny you more of looking at this new map that we're going to see in a couple weeks' time. But at the moment, Cancel That is still holding on. And instead, it is a farm off in. They're just enjoying themselves. It's the first time they really get killed.
Playing with
so.
their
Oh, Rexy got pushed. Neil got him back into the fountain, but the Aegis saved him. That was such a good play from Neil.
Wow.
And
Great
that's
game.
going to be the end of the Season 10 show match here. If you're upset about not seeing more, please blame the players that just won the game. You know their names and their socials.